Are you in your 20s? Are you self-employed or you want to become self-employed? And are you looking to make 10, 15, 20 or more $1,000 a month? This video is for you because I am going to share with you how I made money at home as a self-employed educator. This is Michelle C. Augustine, and here we go. So I know everybody has their own goals, dreams, and aspirations, right? And nobody wants to be broke. No one wants to be struggling. I can attest that struggling and financial brokenness is terrible. So I'm gonna share a real life story with you all, in connection to the same video of that making $20,000 a month. So about 8 or 7 months before I started making around $20,000 a month, I ended up in a financial crisis. In this particular crisis, and this happened in my 20s, and I'm still in my 20s, but not very long ago in my 20s. At that point in time, I was in college. I had a couple debt going on, not dead people, but owings, and things was not looking too well in my business. So I was a business owner, and I was working part-time. I did ministry, and I was a student. And I had a goal before that, and the goal was I wanted to start making $20,000 a year. About, let's say, a year and 7 months before that whole broke situation occurred, my business was thriving. My revenue was increasing and stuff. But for those of you all who know the Lord and believe in prophecy, a prophet confirmed to me why it is I started to experience that financial brokenness. And the year that I was that I was working towards making that $20,000 a month, it didn't work out because firstly, I didn't have a lot of time because it's a service business. I'm teaching, I'm educating persons, and then I have to spend out of my 168-hour week some of that time on my studies in college, and then I'm singing as a musician and sometimes ministering through like teaching the word of God. So there's a lot going on. Right? So I knew I had to wait until I finished college to actually achieve this goal because I needed more time because it's a service business. So one thing to note, if you have a product business, it is so much easier and faster to scale a product business than a service business. And I going back to the broke period, I was literally struggling. My laptop started to give problems. It stopped working. My phone, all kind of things started to happen. Thank God for my boyfriend who helped me buy groceries. Around that time, he helped me get a charger for my laptop, paid for it. He also helped me, or give me money for a phone and a couple other things. Yeah, that's how bad it got. And I must say though that even in the midst of all of that, some people will just go on the streets. I mean, I don't have to go on the streets because I have a place, right? But some people might just go on the streets to go and beg. I didn't see no begging in this. All I knew, I had to figure out how to fix this problem through prayer, and also at the same time, I was looking for ways to learn new things to increase my revenue, my business. I hired a coach, asked me where I got money from. Part of it I had to borrow, and the other part was a little bit of money I was making from my business. My business was now catching back itself. So by the time I graduated, not graduated rather, before I graduated, my income from when I was broke increased by about 4 times. And by the time I finished my last final exam in college, which was around April of that particular year, mid-April, well, a little later, mid-April, Within about 4 or 5 months, by September, I went from making around 4,000 to $20,000. So literally around a 15x increase. Well, when I say that, I mean from what I was making at the beginning of the year. From April to September, that would have been like a 4x again. But from the beginning of that particular year, when I was actually still recovering from that broke period, to September, I kind of 15x, right? That's like how bad finances were looking. So in this video, I am going to share with you all the steps that I took in order to go from that broke situation to earning that amount. The first step that I took to go from brokenness to making 20,000, just remember, as a business owner, the money will fluctuate. Sometimes you make more, sometimes you make less. It happens. There's not much you make exactly the same, but it could fluctuate depending on customer behavior. So this first step would have been, you must have a business or a product or a service. You must have something to offer, to sell. Because this is not really going to apply to persons who just have a job, because if your employer told you they're going to pay you a certain amount, they're going to continue paying you that same amount. They're not going to just change, right? So you need to have a product or a service, at least one. You can have more than one, but at least one. So once you have that, or if you're going to make one or come up with one, the next step will be set a sales goal or revenue goal. How much money do you want to make? That is very important, because if I didn't set that goal, then I would be thinking about what's the next step that I need to take in order to accomplish that goal. So set a goal: 20,000, 50,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever it is, a million. Set a goal, right? And you will set it based on your belief system. And as I say belief system, I'm sticking one of my favorite scriptures. James chapter 2 verse 17 says, even so faith, if it had not worked, is dead being alone. I believe the scripture, it is a reality. So everything that I've done in my business through faith and works, and everything you all do, even if you don't believe in the Bible, it is actually connected to faith and works. So your faith is your belief, or your desires, the things you want, and your works is the actions that you take in order to accomplish that goal or that belief, or to bring it to pass. All right, so once it is you set that goal, how much money you want to make, the next step is to advertise consistently. So I started to advertise every single month. I never advertised every single month before. I tried it out on my local newspaper, but I realized the money I spent on the local newspaper for that ad, I never got, nobody called me. For just a week I tested. I was like, no. Facebook and Instagram working real good. So I had my ads running on Facebook and Instagram for a little bit of money. Yeah, I mainly had it running for $1 a day, and I know that's a little bit, but if you consistently do that, you keep your ads in front of people's face and they'll see it. Now, I'm not from America. Some of you probably already realized because of my accent. So $1 is about 7 TT dollars. So practically I was spending $7 in my currency. $7 on Facebook, 7 on Instagram, so like $14 a day, right? And I kept doing that, and it kept allowing me to get what I needed, which was leads. Now, of course, you can't just put on any type of advertisement or how flyers. You have to make sure that your stuff is catchy, but at the same time truthful, right? You have to be able to capture people's attention. So your ads have to be put together really good. apart from that, no, some of you probably saying, is it ads you really do? Let me be a little bit more specific. I did the boosting part, right? I did it on the boosting, and the boosting is not the best, but when you're on a low budget and you want to do like low budget stuff like that, because remember, I recovered from a financial crisis, boosting is better. If you use $1 on the actual ads, which is better for different research and analytics, $1 US dollar is not gonna be able to push your ads. So that's for boosting. So it was the boosting kind of ads I did, and it helps me to generate leads. You need leads in all of your business to keep operating. You need leads. Leads are persons or businesses that are interested in what you have to offer, and they will either message you, WhatsApp you, call you, sign up for, register for your product, or sign up or do something that you get some type of contact from them. That is leads, right? So potential or perspective, potential consumers, people who would buy, or let's say customers, because not everybody who pay actually will take your services or product. They may buy for other people, so you must say customers, some of them consumers as well, right? So you need lead generation, and I didn't mean it through ads. Well, a little bit of marketing touched it. The fourth step is communicate with your prospective consumers via email, WhatsApp, phone. So if they call you, answer. If you miss the call them back. Yeah, sometimes I need to be on top of that part. The WhatsApp, you respond. What else? The email, you respond. And follow up. People does forget, and I learned that during that period. I never thought people does forget so much. You know, you think when somebody asks you about something once, that some of them would not forget, and they will contact you before you contact them back to confirm. It have the others who would, I don't know, like they need an extra push, or they need you to remind them about things they want for their own good. Like, what? Yes. So follow up at least a couple weeks later or once every month. I realize the more you follow up with people, not everybody's going to buy from you. Trust me, even some of them who message. But the more you follow up, sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times contacting that person once every month, or however you want to lay it out, and then they'll buy. So follow up. That's the communication part I'm talking about there. Follow up. And the last step I'm going to give you all is make the sale. Close the deal. Send the bank account information. Like, make the sale, right? And I mean, that might sound obvious, but not everybody is able to close a sale, right? There's some communication tactics I've learned. Some of them by listening to other business owners, and others by also paying attention to how customers behave. Some people, if you don't send them your bank account information, or you don't tell them they could pay here and let you know, or send you a picture, the receipt, or whatever the case, they just go their way, and they're waiting for you to give them stuff, and you expecting them to ask you, and it's like, what? Make sure that you have a conversation with them that would lead to the point that either you ask them whether or not you should send your bank account information if they don't. And then it's up to them to tell you, yes, please send it now, or I'll get back to you later, I need to confirm, whatever the case, right? So I hope what I shared was valuable. But before I go though, I want you all to know that in addition to the steps that I shared, I had customers pay me on a monthly basis. So it wasn't just one-time customers, right? Nothing wrong if you have one-time customers. I've had 1 or 2 of those, but most of my customers pay me on a monthly basis. So when it is you get a customer, and you can have customers paying you on a monthly basis, you have a more consistent flow. I'm going to say that again. You have a more continuous flow of cash. And that is definitely another factor that helped me to be able to make 20,000 and all that type of money on a monthly basis. Yo, don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe, especially if you receive value from this. And if you wanna, you know, get more information, learn more, you can check some of the links in the description. And to see more videos like this, make sure and subscribe, right? Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.